The importance of setting goals and what happens when you have them, what happens when you don't have goals. Ever since I made the decision about a year ago that it is not just enough for me to practice and teach martial arts, in order to enjoy what I love to do and to reach my fullest potential, and in order to help other people reach their fullest potential as well, it was really important that I sat down and I rethink my strategy, and I realized that I need to have some business acumen. I need to learn how business is done. I need to learn how the game is played. So I realized that the next thing that I needed to conquer was to build a high income skill. And it was very painful and very tough because from someone like me that the only thing I know is martial arts and the only thing I know is fencing. And all of a sudden I made that challenge to myself to pivot into the business world and to build a high income skill, but it was so tough, it was so difficult. I actually had to learn how to do copywriting first in order to fund my subsequent investments in building my own high income skill. And learning copywriting itself was so tough and so difficult. But I soldiered through all of that because I knew that through martial arts, through sports, I have that willpower, I have that discipline, and all I needed to do was to channel it and focus it in the right place. Then I would be able to achieve what I aspire to do. And the thing is, once I started building this high income skill, I started closing for one of Bob Proctor's inner circle consultants. And being in this position, I required I was required to study Bob Proctor's programs, to study New Thought, to study the law of attraction, to study mindset. So because of this, I study this material every single day, right? And when you study something like this every single day, you immerse yourself in things like goal setting, in things like mindset, in things like understanding how the laws of this will operate, and what is the best way that we can align our thinking so that we get the results we want. Otherwise, it's the laws of this world controlling us. It's the science of the mind controlling us when we should take control of that. So what really happened was I didn't just pivot from being a guy that only know physical skills to trying to enter the business world. I also pivoted internally from being a martial artist that only know how to think with my body to shifting that thinking and shifting all of that fighting, shifting all of the martial arts to going inside. So these days, when I look at people, because I'm studying this material all the time, when I look at people, I'm looking at first and foremost the strength of their goals, the strength of your goals. And more I find when I hear people talking and because a lot of what we do involves a lot of listening. So when I listen and I listen deep, most of the time I'm searching for the strength and the clarity and the conviction in one's goals. In the first place, do you even have goals? In the second place, if you will, did you even write those goals down? In the third place, when you write these goals down, are they clear? Are they specific? Do they have a deadline? Did you actually write it down and become so clear about what you want and why? If you don't have that, what's going to happen is even as time passes, you're not going to achieve anything because you never have an end goal in mind. So today you're doing this, tomorrow you're doing that, and then your friend comes along and say, hey, this is good, let's do this. And maybe you see on the internet, hey, that's good, let's try that. So you're always circling around, floating around, drifting around, moving wherever the current brings you to go, but you never have a proper destination that's based on your true wants, that's based on your true self, that's based on your true values. When you don't have goals, that's what's happening to you. So you cannot lie to yourself because all this time is eventually gonna pass. And for me, I had to sit down and tell myself that okay, the way that I spent my last 10 years just practicing martial arts and traveling to compete and fans. I could do that for the last 10 years because I was young. And one day I realized that I was growing old, and the next 10 years I cannot be doing what I was doing for the last 10 years. So I sat down and I wrote goals. And I learned as I was building my high income skill to write them twice, to write them thrice, to get absolute clarity on having goals. And the more I talk to people these days, the more I realize that a lot of us not only don't have goals, we don't know how to set them. For that reason, this coming Friday, I will be organizing a special private meetup event. It's specially to talk about setting goals. It's specially to share about the art and science of goal setting and goal achieving the way that my team and I have learned from Bob Proctor. Right? It is our daily study, daily expression, daily immersing in this kind of material that brings me the clarity, that brings me the results, that brings me the direction, the purpose, the meaning, the understanding. It's not just enough to just have goals. You need to know what is the science behind goals and what is the best way to move toward those goals, to set those goals even in the first place, and to move towards them and to make them happen. So if you're watching this video some way, somehow, and you're Singaporean, or you live in Singapore, or you're based in Singapore, or you are in Singapore this coming Friday, it's going to be about 7:30 p.m., just a couple of hours. I will share with you what it means to have a goal, how exactly to set a goal, and what is the science behind goals, and how do we achieve them. I'm going to share everything I know in the 2 hours and make sure that you leave that event having perfect clarity of what you want to achieve by the end of this year. So if you're watching this right now somewhere, somehow, anywhere, and you're Singaporean, you live in Singapore, you're based in Singapore, I invite you to be part of this private event, okay? But you have to write to me either via my email at team@SeanSena, or even at my Telegram @SeanSena. All my contacts is in the description below. Just write to me, tell me who you are, which part of Singapore you're from, what do you do, why do you want this, and if I see that you're truly serious and you want to make things happen with us, with my team and I, what's going to happen is I'm going to write back to you. We're going to get on a quick call, and if I see that we are fit, I'm going to personally get you set up, and I will see you this Friday and give you everything you need to get started. Sounds good? If you know of a friend, so one person is going to be about, I think, $15. If you bring a friend, it's going to be $10 each for the entry. One person is 15, two person is $10. So if you know of a friend that is struggling with clarity and they have been sort of dancing around like several things, but they never really sit down and set a damn goal because they don't know how to do it, do them a favor and give them the URL, the link to this video, or just tag them in the comments below, or just give them the link to this video. Let them hear this message, and you never know whose life you could change when you take an action like that. If this video brought you the clarity and inspiration you needed, remember to like this video and subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so every time I release a video on events like this or things on mindset, personal breakthrough, etc., you get notified. Okay, so I had fun making this video. I'm looking forward to meeting all of you serious and committed individuals at the event, at the private meetup event itself. Any questions? Put them in the comments below or write to me and I will get back to you. So cheers and have a nice day, guys.